Good evening, everyone. This is Vivian, and today is Tuesday, and it was actually had a little breeze here in South Florida. Of course, it was a hot breeze, but it was still a breeze. Hey, every little thing counts, right? so, uh, we're still reviewing the book. Year of Positive Thinking, Daily Inspiration, Courage, and Wisdom by Cindy Spiegel. So last night talked about a topic that we've discussed before, living your own truth, being true to yourself, um, being a rebel, the wild child, do what you want to do in life. Because tomorrow's not promised to us. We got to live today as if it were our last. Um, so, there you go. Live your own truth and be true to yourself. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, tonight, if you're following along in the book, you'll notice that I kind of changed the topic. Well, I extended the heading because the heading in the book is tolerance. But I think what tolerance is the art of acceptance. So I kind of added that to the title. So this time, I'm actually going to read first before I go into my little rant. So let's do that for right now. All right. Courageously take the time to notice your own self righteousness. It limits how loving and accepting you can become. Listen to the stories of others. Be more accepting of people who think differently than you. That doesn't mean that you have to change your beliefs, but it does mean that you have to accept the beliefs of others without judgment or defensiveness. Everyone deserves the right to be who they truly are, including you. So, see the connection from last night? Being who you are and, having the right to do whatever you want to do, regardless of whatever anybody else thinks, that ties into tolerance because to be tolerant of someone's right to do whatever they want, that means you're accepting it. You're not saying that this is what you're going to do, but you're just accepting the fact that they have a different opinion. So, the dictionary has at least two definitions of tolerance, and I'm just going to kind of go through each one and then talk about it a little bit. And it depends on how you use it in a sentence too, So that's the way the dictionary works. But anyway, so the first definition in the dictionary is the ability or willingness to tolerate something, in particular, the existence of opinions or behavior that one does not necessarily agree with. Now, let's explore that. The ability or willingness to tolerate something. Now, that statement pretty much says it all, right? Because we have a choice in how we react to something or someone's opinion or whatever, right? We have the ability to accept or reject. That's why we have a brain. The brain, the conscious mind can accept or reject any idea that it's given. So if you reject it, that's fine, but it depends on how you reject it as to whether or not you're considered tolerating or accepting it. So if you're accepting someone's opinion, oh, okay, so you have a difference of opinion. I never thought of it that way. I think that's a better way of than, oh, you're wrong, because people tend to do that. We tend to do that, to say that somebody's wrong because their opinion is different than ours. And, that causes arguments and all kinds of stuff that really is not necessary because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Our willingness to accept or reject is going to make all the difference in whether or not we're tolerating other people's opinions. Now, just because somebody has a different opinion than you is not a reason to dislike that person. And you see it all the time, people arguing about stuff and because they have a difference of opinion. It's not necessary. Discuss, listen to each other's opinions. Oh, well, and you might find that there's something in what they're saying. If you get rid of the noise of automatically assuming that somebody's opinion is different than yours and they're wrong and you're right, then you may actually learn something. And you may still disagree with maybe the majority of what they said, but somewhere in there is a lesson, or there's somewhere in there maybe a truth that you're not listening to because you've automatically formed your opinion. You're not going to tolerate anything else, you know. So that's how people are sometimes. But we have to realize that everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and everybody has a right to do what they want to do in their own lives. You know, we may disagree with maybe the way somebody dresses. We may disagree with how they talk, or how they pronounce words, or whatever it is. But it's just a disagreement. Okay, I have this opinion. You know, like they say, tomato, tomato. Some people say tomato. Some people say tomato. Oh well, blow the whole thing off. So it's um, it's only when their actions or whatever is going to involve you or harm you, do you even have the right to judge or have an opinion, have um well, you can have an opinion, but you don't have the right to judge it unless it's affecting you. If it's affecting you, then yeah, you got a right to say something because it's affecting you. But other than that, not so much. So here's one of the things is that everybody has a certain amount of prejudices against something, because whether we know it or not, we may, on the outside, if somebody were to ask us if we were prejudiced, then we would all say no, no. Well, not all, but most people would say no because they don't realize it. But then you hear them talking sometimes and you pick it up a little bit that they have a certain amount of prejudice about something, about somebody's culture, about somebody's accent, about somebody's coloring, about somebody's whatever. But some people, and sometimes it's environmental, what environment did you grow up in? As so that you didn't develop a tolerance for anything because you didn't have to. You didn't have anybody else around you. You were surrounded by everything that you knew, in your own little corner of the world and your culture. And then you didn't develop any tolerances for anyone else because you just didn't have that around. So if everybody would recognize the fact that everybody, and I do mean everybody, has some form of prejudice, whether it's not, prejudice doesn't necessarily always mean racial. It's a prejudice, it's a disagreement, or what's the other word? I can't think of the other word, but anyway, you don't like something, and you don't know why you don't like it. You don't like it. It makes you uncomfortable. So, but in this world, we see a lot of racial, cultural, religious, sexual preference, all of that stuff, and it's just sickening the way that people have this huge intolerance for other people. And we're all humans. I mean, we are going to have our uniqueness, and it's a good thing that people are different, because otherwise, how bland would that be? That everybody was exactly the same, had exactly the same opinions, had exactly the same everything. I mean, it would be like this utopian society where everybody was exactly the same. Everybody did the exact same thing all the time. Nobody disagreed with anybody. Blah 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 blah. Blah. That would be so boring. It would just be snoozing. We would just fall out and die, I think, because nobody would be any different. And if you don't have differences and uniqueness, how many of the things that have been created in the world would not have been created, because nobody's going to go outside the box, right? If you think of it that way, if we can't tolerate or accept other people's differences or uniqueness, how awful it would be that everybody would be exactly the same. Nobody would think anything different. So a lot of the things that you enjoy in life now, say your computer that you're looking at me on, or your phone, or wherever you're looking at, wouldn't exist, because nobody would have thought it, because nobody would have thought outside the box. The boxes would be here and everybody would be in it and nobody would be different. So tolerance and acceptance is one of the things that makes the world go round, if you think about it, right? So, but if people would choose to just let other people be, and then I think a lot of the craziness would go away, and people could live in harmony and peace and everything. And that's just one of the things that I would really wish for the world, is that people would get over being intolerant of other people. We're all people. It's just what it is. We're all people. We got different skin colors. We got different hair. We got different eyes. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to have all these different cultures and eyes and hair and skin and teeth. And I mean, all this stuff that's different about everyone in the world. They're unique. So I've almost gone off on a rant there. Hold on. I digress. The second definition is of tolerance is the capacity to endure continued subjection to something, especially a drug, transplant, antigen, or environmental condition without adverse reaction. Okay. So this definition could apply to more than one thing. Some people have a high tolerance for pain. I had an aunt. I mean, her tolerance for pain was like way up there. And they're able to endure very high amounts of pain before it even registers with them. I'm not one of those people. I can tell you, I'm a wimp when it comes to pain. So yeah, I have a low tolerance. She had a really high tolerance. We were related. Didn't mean that we could be exactly the same. See the difference? Some people also have a strong reaction to drugs, and alcohol. And then you have those who are typically called functioning drug addicts or alcoholics, because they have a high tolerance for the amount of these substances that they can take in without it really affecting them, or without somebody actually noticing that it's affecting them, because it's affecting them internally. But on the outside, they look perfectly normal because they have a high tolerance for that. Then there is the situation going on now with the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, for centuries, Black people have been asking for the same thing, and they've tolerated the small glimpses of progress, but now, with all the violence and things going on towards Black people, increasing, their tolerance has pretty much dissipated. So we've had a high tolerance for a lot of things, endured a lot of things. And so now you're seeing you saw protests before, but it's getting a little bit more escalated now, because the tolerance for that treatment, or for that intolerance of our skin color, because that's all it is. It has nothing to do with the personalities. It has nothing to do with the actual person, because the people that have this intolerance don't get to know people because the skin color stops them at the bar. It's like, oh well, you're the wrong color, so I'm not even going to try to get to know you. And that's intolerable, because it's just stupid. I can just say it is the most stupid thing I've ever heard, because you can see, if you look past anybody's amount of melanin, then and get to know the person and accept the person for who they are, then all of this could go away. All of it. Because that's the answer. That everybody would just stop being crazy and accept people for who they are. No matter what their race, religion, culture, skin color, whatever, to stop it. Because it's the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that kind of boils me, because I've been on this earth 59 years, and I've seen and heard so much intolerance in various areas of life, and people disagree about everything. Anything and everything, religion, marriage, sexual preference, race, culture, science, behavior, you name it, people can disagree about it. And some people have some type of intolerance for it. But I feel acceptance of differences and uniqueness can actually cause a healing of a multitude of things. We as a people, if we would just look inside ourselves and stop looking at the outside of people, then I think it could heal, have a lot of healing effect. So I want to end with the last paragraph that was in the book, because I think it's very, very important. And it really speaks to the gist of this whole thing. And it says, listen, listen to the story of others. Be more accepting of people who think differently than you. That doesn't mean that you have to change your beliefs, but it does mean that you have to accept the beliefs of others without judgment or defensiveness. Everyone deserves the right to be who they are, including you. Tolerance is truly the art of acceptance. So that's all I have to say about that. I know I kind of went off on a little tangent there, but hey, you get passionate about something and off you go. So I want to end with my gratitude and thankfulness. And I've gone beyond the 5 things. So and it doesn't matter how many things you got, whether you got 2 things or 1 thing or 5 things or 10 things, just write it down. Be thankful for something or someone or whatever. Okay. So as in previous times, some of these are affirmations and some of them are actually, happening now. Affirmations are basically faith-based statements. Okay, so I am thankful that I earned $50,000 or more per day from multiple sources on a continuous basis. That is an affirmation. I am thankful that today that I got to talk to my aunt, my mom's older sister, and we had a really very nice conversation today. And I'm just so grateful that I got to talk to her today. I am thankful always for my children and my grandchildren, and I am thankful for all of the colleagues that I'm acquiring across the internet. And one of these days, I will make it my mission, as soon as they lift some of the travel restrictions, to go to maybe a seminar or something and meet some of them face to face. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that at some point. I'm thankful that I woke up this morning, that I'm able to work from home. I'm thankful for my business and all the good things that it's doing in the world. That's also an affirmation. Um, well, I think it's starting to do some good in the world, but you know, as my business grows, all of that. Well, I'm claiming it now, so it's true. I'm thankful for my Facebook families in the various Facebook groups that I'm in. And although I don't visit all of them every day, I still thank God for all of them. I am thankful for you for watching this broadcast and sticking with me um, on a nightly basis. And I am thankful that I am no longer holding my voice in, and in some capacity, I am encouraging others to come out of their comfort zone and lend their voices to the world. I am very grateful for this book, and what it has done for me. And my next goal is to reach out to the author to let her know what an impact her book has had on me and my life, and hopefully the lives of someone else. So, what are you thankful for? So, I hope you're thankful for something. Write it down, say it out loud, believe it and achieve it, So um, I wish for you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. But in the meantime, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys. Thanks again for watching. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.